Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video I'll be showing you how to use Paystack Webhook. Webhook are very useful in creating your project, especially when you have to do your transactions. When users are getting products or services from your platform and you're using Paystack, so it's advisable you use a webhook instead of callback functions and polling. So if you go through the official documentation of Paystack, they advise that you use webhook instead of callbacks. Why? Because when you're using webhook, they're able to update transaction status that send the current state of that very transaction using a post request to your backend and updates all of that. So the thing is, we are going to learn how to use this webhook in this project. So there's a Laravel project I'm currently working on. So we are going to learn how to use this Paystack webhook on a Laravel project. Laravel project. So the idea is for you to get the basic foundation on how to use webhook. So from there you can actually use it on any project you're working on. So if you go through the documentation of Paystack on webhook, you find out that they actually recommend you use it, like I said before. So they also give a guideline on how to use this webhook. So what we're going to first of all do is let's go to my project. So if you come to my CMD, I already have my project running already. So if you come to my project here, so I already created some routes. That's the register, login, and all of that. So I already created this route to initiate the payment. So our major focus in this video is how to use the webhook. So I'm not going through how to create this payment initiation route, but I'll just show a light on it so you get what I did. Okay, so I already created my controller called the payment controller. So this is what you have. That's what you have here. So if you go through this code, you find out it's called, the method name is called initiate Paystack. So this is my time frame here. So what I'm doing is I'm first of all authenticating the user to check the authenticated user. So after I check the authenticated user, I'm getting the amount via the requested amount. So I multiply by 100 to get the exact amount, because Paystack amount actually in Kobo, so you have to multiply by 100 to get the exact amount. So if you come here, I'm getting the user email and save it in a variable called email, because I'll be making use of it later. So here, to check if the amount is valid, so I check if this amount, the requested amount, is less or equal to 0. If it's less than 0, it will return a message with invalid amount, HTTP response of bad request. So if we go down, so here I'm initiating the Paystack payment stuff here. So this is the URL. So this is the header for the authentication. So here, this is my secret key. So I'm using if you come to this this config here, so now config, if you go to services, so we are going to put this very line of code to be able to add your Paystack secret key to your .env file. So if it's a production app, you can use your live key, but this is for a test purpose. I'm using my test key here. So after that, I'll come over here. So what I want to do right now is to start creating my method. That's this route I've created already, this Paystack callback method. This is what I'm about to create. I called it Paystack callback. So I'm going to create this method here right now. So it's going to be a public function with this very name here. So this Paystack payment callback is what I have here. So after that, the first thing I'm going to do, if you go to documentation, the first thing I advise for you to do is I'll actually check if it's a post request, then you validate the request and all of that. So let's just come here and do so. Let's check if the request is a post request. So like I said before, Paystack usually send this request using a post request and not a get request. So I'm going to check. So I'm going to say if the requests, oh, should I put an arrow here? If the requests method as is method so let me just use calculator here. So if the request is not a post request, or it does not contain these words, Paystack header here, this Paystack signature, or is it this one here? If it does not contain this, so I can say event are sent from Paystack carrying what this Paystack words signature header. So if it does not contain that, so let's also say if requests, what should I be doing? Okay, yeah, if requests header does not have this issue words about this and what's about this with 400 and say what's invalid requests. Okay, should do this. So this is for the first step. Then after that, we are going to retrieve the request. We are going to retrieve the request just as they did here, following this thing here. So if you go here and come here, just come here. If you go up, you see what retrieve the request body. So I'm going to use this word to retrieve the request body here. So let me just copy this to save our time. This input here, let me just copy this and paste it here. So now I'm going to put our Paystack secret key. So just what they did here. So let's just copy this. I'm going to come here and do this. So remember that secret key is already in our .env file and it's coming from this services. So we're going to do this now and say config. So config now, we then have services. In the services file, services dot paystack dot secret underscore key. That's this here. Okay, this actually, that's this and it's coming from this place here, Paystack and the secret key. So that's where you have this now. So after that, we are going to validate the header to ensure that that very header is it's a validate event, do all at once and all of that. So we're going to validate this header and ensure that whatsoever header that is coming forward from Paystack. So this is how we are going to do. So if you go through this documentation, I think they also showed you how to do that. So that's what they did here. That's this very line of code. So we're going to do our own now to validate that header. We're going to say if request header, then we're going to take this again, is not equal to this thing here. So we're using this Paystack secret key. That's what we have here. That's what we are also using here. So if it's not equal to this, we're going to still abort it and bring an error, say the signature is is invalid. We're going to say invalid signature. Invalid signature. So if all these things are, if it's not if it's a post request, then we retrieve the request body, then what we define our Paystack secret key. Then if this one now is correct, if it's equal to this, as if the header is equal to this, we are going to what return what as acknowledged with this HTTP response code of 200. So after we do this, it means that everything is what working fine. Then from there we are going to what get the events. Let's just save this event in the variable called events. So we are going to what decode it, because it's going to come as a JSON format. What was a JSON decode. You see the code. While we're decoding, we are decoding this what input here. So now we can use the event. So Paystack has different events. If you come down, you see the different type of events or Paystack has. So we're going to go for using this charge was successful. You see a successful charge was made. This when the payment has been made successfully. So this is what comes up. So they have different other events you can also use for your program. So we're going to be using this charge of success. Let's copy it. So what we're going to do now is first we're going to check if it has that event. If that this event is equal to, okay, so let's check for this event first, and it's set. Let's check if this event is set. So if this is set now, we can then I'll use this. So what we're going to do is we are going to, from this event now, get the user email. That's the user email that was coming from this initiate payment stuff. So we're going to say event. Let's get a variable called email. You see the events. Okay, then equal to here. What am I doing? Events. Then we're going to get the data. Then the customers email. So I'm going to save it in this variable here. So we're going to make use of that later. So what we're going to do right now is I want to therefore check, also get the user's email, but let me just hold that first. So after getting the customer's email, let me then I will check for the charge of success. So for us to do so, let me just say if events now, then events, what am I doing? If event is equal to charge to success. So if it's successful, that's what we're going to do. So what I want to do is, if the event is successful, I just want to get the event details and put it in a file. So that's what I want to do. I just put it in a file first, so I can get everything. So at this point, if you are working a production app or a software, you can then save your details in your database here, or rather update, because if you check this initiate Paystack method, I already saved the transaction already. So what I did is I saved the transaction and give it the status of payment initiated. So when the user goes through this initiate Paystack method, it's already been saved in my database already as the status is payment initiated. So when the payment is then made, I can then update that payment initiated to whatever event I'm getting from Paystack. If it's child or success, I can now what change the status to what as successful and what continue my stuff. So you can either what update your stuff here, but since this is a tutorial video, what I want to do is I just want to what get all the details and put it in a separate file so I can what can go through it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to what just get the details here. Let me do this and see. Let me create a variable called files. Or okay, this should be the file name first. Let me just call this the file name. So this should be equal to what should I call it now? Okay, let me call it Paystack. It's okay. Stack. And it's called payments. Payments. Okay. Success. Then I want to just concatenate this with the time for shortcut time here. Then it should be what dot what test. I want to be in test formats, txt formats. So this should do. Then what I'm going to do right now, I want to get the details. So let me create another variable called details. Details, and this should be equal to, so what should be details? Let's call this payment successful. I'm doing this successful. So I'm also going to concatenate this with this thing called PHP. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through this thing so I can get all the event data and save them in my file. So I'm going to use for each. What am I doing? Let me change this for each to look through and see the event as the event that is coming from them as key. Dollar key is what is called value. Let me call it okay. Let me call it value. You can call this anything you like though. You can call it whatever you choose to. But me, I'm calling my what value. Then I'm going to check if it's objects. If there's a function called is objects. If it's objects, that's the value now. That's this very value here. This value variable created. Or is array. Is what's array. If it's an object or and what's array, that's what that value variable that was created. So we're going to do, we're going to use JSON prettify now to make it beautiful or make it readable. That's what make it readable. So value then is equals to JSON. What do I use with this? JSON encode. There's an equal to. Yeah, I keep forgetting this. Okay. Then we're going to encode this very value here. Value then make it beautiful by saying JSON pretty prints. Okay, that's that for that. So now we can now come down here and concatenate everything and say detail is now equal to, so I'll concatenate it. So I'm going to put a full stop here, then do this. I'm going to say key. So what I'll do is I'll use this thing here, double quotation, I say key, and say key. But so these are arranged in my file value. but this stuff here, I'm getting this still, I'm putting it here, so this should work. So finally I'm going to look of 5 contents, 5 put contents in my file, put contents, then show as my file name, that's the file name, this file name I created here, contain my file name, then my details should be there too. This is my details here, so details, my details, so this should do, okay, this should do, okay, so this should do. So what we're going to do right now is, so everything here, okay, I didn't use this email, so if I want to actually save my database, that's where this email will become of relevant, more of importance. So after doing this now, we are good to go. But the thing you have to do next is, since this is a local server, I should be able to come to this, not here now, my Paystack settings, come to this place where you have API stuff here. I would change my my API webhook, and you would use my keys here, and also would put my test webhook URL here. So we're going to use another software now. So just simply come to your search bar here and write Ngrok. Okay, so once you do this, you come here, but you download this Ngrok. So it's going to help our local server to be accessible by Paystack. So it's going to help us. So what you have to just come to this download here, then what, download your version of laptop or computer you are using. So I'm using a Windows, so this should be what I'll be going for. So I already have this in my system already. Let me just wait for it to finish loading. So come here, then you can use your command line, or you just simply download the zip. It's a 32 bits, so 32, then you simply download. So after you finish download, you can install. So after installing, then you go to the place where you have it. I have mine here, so you simply click on this. So these stuffs will come outside. So remember, my server is running my PHP script, that's my Laravel script that is running on this port, on this port 8000. So what I'm going to do is come here and say Ngrok HTTP 8000. Okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, what's happened? What did I do wrong? So let's open this again. So let's do this again. HTTP 123. Okay, so it's open. So as you can see, it's a forwarding. This is what the URL we're going to copy now. I'm going to copy this and come to this Paystack here and change this to this. So there should be no space at the beginning. But so this is what the Ngrok gave to us. So we're going to put / our routes. So these are routes, Paystack Webhook. So let's copy this and let's come here, let's paste it here. So this is it. So we are going to save this now, so that we saved successfully. So let's come to, so this my Laravel work is an API I'm creating. So I'm using Postman. So this is my the link, or rather the URL to generate the so like I said before, I've created some routes, and among those routes is this routes Paystack payment, as to initiate the Paystack payment gateway. So that's what I have here already, a local server API / Paystack payment. So let me send this now, or okay, I will cancel this. I want to send a specific amount. Let me come here and read this first. So I want to change this amount now to, let's say 1000. 1000. So let me send this. So prior to that time, I already was done my whole login and everything. You get, so it has generated what the payment for me. So this is what the state. This is what we sent it to do here. Come over here from this initiates. So the message success, the status success, the message, and what the URL. That's what we already have here. So we're going to control click this to open a new tab now. So meanwhile, our Ngrok server is currently running, waiting to receive any request here. So let's say success and click on pay. So payment was successful. So we'll come here now. Okay, that means it's a 404 not found. That means there's an error here. Paystack / callback. So let's check what we put here and see what happened. Let's come here. Let's check our API and ensure that what we are doing is right. Paystack / callback. So this is it. It said 404 not found. Why is that not found? This should be found. What happened? So it's giving us a 404 not found. So it means our route is not found. This route, so this is the route. So let's check where that is coming from. So let's check the ports we are running on. It's 8000 and this is it. So let's just copy this again to ensure that what we are doing is correct. Whoosh. Have I ended it? I think I did. Let's just run this again. Let's run this again. I think I ended that. So let's copy this now. Let's come to Paystack again. So let's save these changes. Let's come and let's regenerate. Let's change this to, let's say, 2000. Let's generate this. So let me cover this. So let's control click this. It's opening here. It should be a success. Okay, still not found. Let me check what's happening. Okay, I think the issue is coming from this place here. So I remember what I said about my Laravel project and API. So since it's an API, I should be having this this URL coming from here /API /API first before my routes. So this is what the mistake was coming from. I didn't put my API here, because you come to this place here, you see that there's an API here in the URL. So that's where the error is coming from. Let me run this again now. So this should give us what we want. So because I was working on API, I didn't put that stuff. So let me just run this. Success. Okay, this thing does not what's reloaded. Let me just come here. Did I save this? Oh, I didn't save. So I think that has been saved now. So let's do this. Let's do this again. I didn't save it before, so let's do this. So let's wait for this. Successful. 400 bad requests. So something still went wrong. So let's check our code and see what went wrong this time around. 400 bad requests. badge request 400. That means this one of this is coming. So which of it is coming? So something went wrong with our codes. Let's check where the error is coming from. Okay, is it this? I think this is correct. These two are getting this. Okay, I think there's an error in this very line here. So let me remove this. So there's not supposed to be any add there. So it was a typo. So let's run this again and see what happens. So let's just regenerate the link. So let's run through this and so let's is this still bringing these badge requests or what? So let's run this again. Okay, let's come here and check. Services, services services dot paystack secret then key. I think this should be the thing. So let's just run this again. So these little typos, I think that's what is making our code to break. So let's I'm not able to do that. It's right click, control click, rather control and click. So let's do this and see. Okay, as you can see, that's giving us our 200. So let's come to our public and see. Let's look for the file that was created. As you can see, this is the file. So this is the file that was created. So I think this one was one that was created. So let me just delete these files and I will what happened. Let's just delete these files so we can know the exact file that is coming out. So we don't have any file there. So let's check the name of the file. Paystack payment sources. So this should be the name of the file. So let me just put one here so we can be able to differentiate it. So let me come here. I'll close this server now. Control C, because I don't want it to be sent to that request. Let me run this again. PS. So let me run this again. So let me just take this and change it here. Okay, change it here. I'll save this and come here. Let me regenerate this again. So let's control, let's click there, success. So let's wait for this. As you can see, is what 200, that's what we're getting here. So we've come to our so you can see Paystack payments, Paystack payment sources 1. So this is it. So this is everything here. So that's how you want to use Paystack Webhook. So that's it. So if there's anything you don't understand, you can drop it in the comment box and I'll explain everything to you.